Hello everybody. Welcome to the final installment of the 2025 Stash Builder collaboration. I was scouring my imagination for what to do for the Stash Builder and realized I still had a bunch of cards that need to be made for the holidays. So here we are. I'm making my last holiday cards. I hope you guys are all finished. It's getting kind of late, but fortunately mine only have to go across the country. They don't have to go across the world. Anyway, I've already told some people who are actively involved that I'm expecting this to be the last stash builder for a while. Having a stash builder has really been handy. However, I'm finding that having a deadline is starting to really trigger my PDA or pervasive demand for autonomy or pathological demand avoidance or whatever you call it. They're getting later and later because I get a really bad case of Tawana when it's time. So I'm going to take a break. With any luck, I will continue to make videos, just not on a schedule. The people I've told that I'm quitting, I've said that they would miss it if I did, which frankly kind of surprised me. But it's only a couple of people. And I didn't get into this to be, a big-time craft influencer. I have neither the personality nor the talent for that. So, if somebody's going to miss it, it's worth doing some more, right? But maybe not on a schedule. That said, if you can give me ideas, that might inspire me, And it is now not officially summer, but summer weather has arrived. It was over 90 2 days this week, and I was absolutely sick. Absolutely sick. Just nauseated and stomach cramps and all the usual icky, plus super high blood sugar that I could not bring down. And then as soon as the weather cooled down, which it does in this microclimate, I think I've mentioned before how much I love this microclimate. My blood sugar came right down, and I started feeling much better, and here we are. Later than I had hoped to get this up, but I'm here. Anyway, the last ones are for my grandchildren over in Adelaide, and they're sweethearts. I miss them so much. It looks like I'm going to get to see them this summer. That's fantastic. Oh, hello. Guess I'm not using those this year. In February, 2 of them have a birthday, and we've made arrangements to go over and be there for their birthday. I have to come right back again because that's when I have my DEXA scan, but that's okay. House guests, like fish, smell bad after just a few days, so it's best to keep the visits to 10 days works out with the train schedule because they leave twice a week. And if we come on a Tuesday and leave on a Friday, that's what we've generally done, and that seems to work out well. The weather is now down in the low 70s. So I'm quite happy, quite comfortable, and determined that much as I hate to do it, I'm going to have to probably use the air conditioning this summer. But a friend is helping out with that, so I'm very fortunate in my friendships. I have no idea why people put up with me, but so many people are so kind. one of the things that makes making these videos difficult is I'm not a talker, and I get performance anxiety. That's probably most of what the PDA is. I don't know what to talk about. I come up with some ideas and I cover those ideas, and we are seconds into the video and I still don't know what to say. It's ironic, really, because I'm a pretty good writer. The difference, though, is that when I'm writing, I can write down my flow of thoughts and then go back and fill in the parts that I missed. An email often takes me the better part of a day because I write down all of my first thoughts, and then I go back and fill in all the missing bits. Can't really do that live. But it's hard to feel that it's, personal flaw when my mother is the same way and my granddaughter is the same way. So it's just who we are, I suppose. Probably should have made one of these cards and done the others off screen. Oh well. I'll take some time and think about how I could do this better, and then maybe I can come back and probably never be as entertaining as Wandering Dreamer555 because, well, she's just really spectacular, but more entertaining. I would like to be more entertaining. Of course, I stuck my finger in the glue. Do you think of Christmas decorations as gendered? That's been a bit of a puzzle on my mind this year as I've created my cards. I mean, I don't really think they are. There's Christmas trees. Who doesn't love trees, right? There's deer. I suppose it depends a little bit on the design of the deer, but who doesn't love deer? They're pretty. And then I second guess myself when I'm putting together cards for grandsons and granddaughters. Okay. Yes. Tree trunk, therefore that's up. Uh-oh. Out of tape. Fortunately, I think I have some more right here. No, I don't. That's long tape. Do I have some more right here? Sort of. I have teeny tiny tape. Oh well, teeny tiny tape it is then. One of the advantages of these cards is it's important to let them know I'm thinking about them. But in a family of 9 people, 10 people, I'm pretty sure that the mess is going to end up being cleared away and thrown in the trash by the end of the week, if not by the end of the day. So if they don't hold up for a lifetime, well, is anybody really going to notice? Did they do that on purpose? I would not have guessed I was about out of tape. I do think, however, that I will pop up the focal point because this tape is really very thin. Don't know if you can see that the card is not bent exactly right. I will trim that off later. Ouch! Ouch! I told you I work on the corner of the dining room table. Just smashed my knee into the corner. Fun times. For a while there, I was really concerned that my memory was going, that I was developing my maternal family's dementia. However, I also started to have other symptoms, so I realized that possibly I had gone too low on the carbohydrates, because when I had, a couple of years ago, I developed long COVID. My blood sugar became completely unmanageable. So I went to very low, possibly no keto, no carb keto for a couple of years. And it worked really well. I didn't get my blood sugar down by itself. There's no sticky on this. Oh well. But when I added some herbs that a friend told me about, it did work very well, to the point that my doctor was astonished. And so I just stuck to very low or no carb for a couple of years, and mostly it seemed to go fine. But come to find out, that can only go on so long. I really kind of knew that, but I enjoyed having my blood sugar under control. So I added some fruit back to my diet, and I stopped being worried about my memory. I mean, I still have old lady problems, but I'm an old lady. I'm not as vapid as I was last month. So, yay me. I could still develop dementia, but not this week. That's always exciting. I was talking to a crafty friend, and it's interesting. We both love dyes, but we both tend to not use them as much as we wish we did. And I'm finding that's changing for me now that I bought a magic mat, believe it or not. Because it's... Oh dear. Oh dear. Huh. Well, these all have an up-down pattern. Except, okay. This is going to be exciting. Didn't think that one through. Because it used to be, the cutting dies out was a hit and miss thing. And I'd have to go in with an artist craft knife and clean it up and cut 4 or 5 of them before I got it right, and it's just so much work. Even with a Gemini Junior, it just seemed like so much fuss. And I love making cards. I love the creativity of it. But I don't like to faff about. I want to do it. Just do it. You'll notice I don't color a lot for the same reason. I'm not that good at it, and it takes so much time. Anyway, I bought the magic mat, in part because it has a magnetic side, and I thought maybe I could get away with using less tape, because the tape was forever sticking to what I was trying to cut out. And it just becomes so easy. It works the first time, almost every time. Sometimes my plates get warped and it takes a couple of tries, but so much easier. So I've been using a lot more dies. And I really like the way a die over the top of an embossing folder background looks. Those are both landscape. I only got one card that's going to work okay with landscape. What have I done? Well, actually, that was big enough that it might not matter. Yeah, that's going to be fine. I have to crop it down a little bit because I didn't get it on centered, but not enough shows for it to matter that it's directional paper. When sending cards to people, I sometimes wonder, do they notice the imperfections? And when I'm sending them to a family of kids, do they notice the imperfections and judge each other's and fret that somebody got the better card? I know my brothers and I did that sort of thing. Not that anybody ever sent us homemade cards, but you got the better book. You got the better toy. I hope not. Because as you can see, it's really kind of random how I put them together. Strictly because that way I could just turn them upside down and it's completely random. There's no question that what's the word? Second guess, that's it. No question of spending hours second guessing who would like which one better. I've been looking into this whole 4B concept. I don't know if you've heard of it. It came out of South Korea, I think. And basically it means 4 no. No dating, no marrying, no having children, no tying yourself to men. And on the one hand, I can kind of see that because we have known for a long time that women largely get a raw deal from this whole partnership thing. We often do most of the work, and we rarely get any appreciation. And it's just a variation, I suppose, on the nobody wants kids anymore. But, I've long thought, if you can be talked out of having kids, you probably should be talked out of having kids. It's a lot of work, most of it thankless. If it's not satisfying for its own sake, you probably shouldn't get involved. I'm one of those who really, I could not concentrate on anything else until I'd started having my children. I wanted to be a mom. Not to say that I'm particularly good at it, mind you, but it was the only interest I had. And then I could figure out how to support them using my native skills because I didn't have any time left to get an education. But, I didn't say it was sensible. I said that was my only real interest in life. You don't feel like that about it? I wouldn't go there. I don't regret it. But if it hadn't meant so much to me, if that relationship hadn't been so critical to me, it wouldn't have been worth it because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work and nobody appreciates it. Not the kids, not your partner, nobody. So have children for yourself or don't have them, I think. There. I've always loved that stamp, but I could never get it to come out quite right. And then I watched Wandering Dreamer's video about how to take your stamps off the wooden blocks. It's so easy now. I can use my stamping tool and it works. Now, I have bored you long enough, so I'm going to do the greeting on one card, and then I'm going to let you go and get on with your day. I will finish it up off screen. But everybody's getting the same one, so I don't think you need to see me do that 6 more times. Okay. I prefer my big cutter for most purposes, but for these little ones, my tiny guillotine is so much better. No doubt about it, this would be much prettier if I used a die, but it's not how I'm doing it. And since I don't seem to have any flat tape at the moment, I will just hope that the glue will hold all by itself. And there we go. 6 Christmas cards, all with the Merry Christmas. I prefer Happy Christmas because, well, whoever calls anybody Merry anymore? But on the other hand, of course it sticks now. But on the other hand, that is just such a pretty stamp. Anyway, I want to thank you very much for joining me for the last couple of years for the Stash Builder collaboration. You've been wonderful. There's only a small handful of you, but you've been wonderful. Thank you. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. And I'll see you whenever I'm inspired again.